You don't get to be weak, not because you're special, but because someone has to hold the line. In every family, there's one person life leans on harder than the rest. One person who doesn't get excuses. One person who can't fall apart when things go wrong. That's you. You're the one who's supposed to figure it out. Money problems, health scares, chaos, silence, fear nobody talks about. While others panic, you think.
I remember what it feels like to be weak. I remember the smell of the dungeon floor. I remember the taste of copper in my mouth. I remember looking up at monsters that were bigger, faster, and stronger than me, and realizing that I was nothing more than prey. I was the world's weakest. That was my title. That was my identity. And looking at you right now, I see the same thing.
Look at them. They're born with it. That invisible spark, that gift they think makes them special. They walk around like the world owes them a victory just because they exist. But you were born with nothing. No talent, no luck, no head start. To the world, you're an error, a glitch in the system. They look at your lack of potential, and they see a flaw.
Look at you. Pathetic. You crawl around in the dirt, begging for scraps of happiness, wondering why the world hasn't handed you a crown. You disgust me. You think you are suffering? You think this little bit of pain you feel is special? Don't make me laugh. You are not suffering. You are merely existing in the consequence of your own mediocrity. You claim you want power. You claim you want to stand at the top. But the moment the heat rises, the moment your little muscles ache, you fold.
We smell it. The stagnant stench of your hesitation. It's pathetic. You're suffocating under the weight of your own someday, hiding in the shadows of your comfort zone. Let them see the monster. Let them feel the ground tremble when we move. There are no limits, only skin and bone waiting to be broken. We are inevitable. We are unstoppable. We are venom.
You were living your life like an E-rank hunter. You were walking into the dungeon of life with a dull blade and no armor, expecting to survive. You were expecting a handout. You were expecting a healer to patch you up every time you get a scratch. You were waiting for a high-ranking guild to come and carry you to the boss room. Nobody is coming. That is the first lesson of the system. In the double dungeon, when the statues started moving, when the god looked down at me with that twisted smile, nobody came to save me. I had to save myself, or I had to die.
You crumble like a dried leaf. I see you looking for a savior. You want someone to come and save you from your boring, average life. Let me tell you something, brat. No one is coming. There is no sorcerer coming to heal you. There is no domain expansion that will magically fix your laziness. You are weak because you choose to be weak. You are comfortable in your filth. You say you want to be a beast, but you are nothing but an insect, and insects are made to be crushed.
While others complain, you move. You don't get the luxury of breaking down, because if you do, everything collapses. That pressure you feel in your chest, that's not anxiety, that's responsibility calling your name. You weren't chosen because you're the strongest right now. You were chosen because you're the one who can become strong enough. And let me be clear, this isn't about being a hero. No applause, no validation, no thank you waiting at the end. You do this because if you don't, no one else will. You don't chase motivation. You don't wait to feel ready. You don't ask, is this fair? You wake up and you handle it again and again and again. Some days you'll feel empty. Some days you'll feel angry. Some days, you'll feel like the weight is too much. Good. That's the price of being the one people rely on.
You are sitting there, comfortable, scrolling, wasting your life on things that do not matter. You complain that life is unfair. You complain that the quest is too hard. You complain that you're tired. It should be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would be a monarch. If it wasn't hard, the power would mean nothing. You want the strength? You want to stand above the rest? You want to command the shadows? Then you have to kill the weak version of yourself. You have to let that version die in the dungeon. Stop protecting your weakness. Stop coddling your laziness. You are holding on to your E-rank status like it's a security blanket. Let it go.
They see a limit. I want you to look at that 0. I want you to embrace the emptiness. Because when you have nothing to lose. While they rely on their gifts, they grow soft. They grow lazy. But you have to hunt. You have to scrape. You have to turn your lack of talent into a weapon so sharp, it cuts through their destiny.
You fear pain. You run from it. That is why you will never be strong. You think strength is about feeling good? Strength is about how much hell you can swallow without choking. To sit upon the throne, you must build it out of the bones of your former self. You have to massacre the part of you that wants to sleep in. You have to exercise the voice in your head that says, "It's too hard." It should be hard. It should feel like you are being ripped apart. If you are not in pain, you are not growing. You are stagnating, and stagnation is death.
You don't talk about how tired you are. You don't announce your sacrifices. You don't explain why it's hard. You just get better, stronger, smarter, more disciplined. Because the truth is, your family doesn't need your emotions. They need your stability. They don't need your dreams. They need your results. And one day, when things are calm, when bills are paid, when problems are solved, when everyone sleeps peacefully, they won't know how close it came to falling apart. But you will. And that's enough. You become dangerous, not because you want power, but because weakness is not an option. So train, work, learn, build, carry the weight quietly, because you are the one, and you don't get to quit.
Your body is the only thing that is truly yours. They can take your status, they can take your money, but they can't take the calluses on your hands. Most people treat their lives like a hobby. They work when they feel like it. They train when the sun is out. They quit when the first drop of blood hits the floor. That's why they'll always be average.
No one tells you this part. They just assume you'll handle it. They assume you'll grow up faster. They assume you'll mature earlier. They assume you'll sacrifice quietly. And you did. While others were figuring themselves out, you were figuring everything else out. You learned how to stay calm when things go wrong. You learned how to swallow fear and still act. You learned how to make decisions when nobody had answers. That didn't come from talent. It came from pressure. Pressure teaches lessons, comfort never will. You didn't get the freedom to find yourself. You became someone useful instead. And maybe sometimes you resent that. Maybe sometimes you wonder what life would feel like without this weight. But here's the truth, most people won't say out loud. If this responsibility was given to someone weaker, they would have broken already. You're still standing, still thinking, still moving forward.